Okay, so today I'll be doing something a little bit different, but it'll still pertain to the EV stuff, and particularly for the motorcycle. So if people have been following this, you'll have seen that I'm building a frame out of some tube steel. I've been essentially heating the steel with an oxy propane torch. That's been turning out pretty good. Got some very complicated bends and shapes that I've done. So the purpose of today's experiment is to see if I can come up with a slightly different way of heating this 25mm steel pipe that I'm basically building the frame out of. Now, so there's a YouTube channel by a British gentleman, I think it's called Photonicinduction, and one of the experiments that he has done was to make a very high current transformer, and he's been doing demos on that, kind of heating up steel bars and blowing things up in general. So what I thought of was that if I was to actually try that out, that I could actually electrically heat certain parts of the pipe by just passing a very high current through it. So I came upon this transformer. It's about a 10 kVA. It's got a 240 volt 50 Hertz AC input on it, primary, which is this part here. It's got a secondary here, a high current secondary, I think it's around 30 volts AC from that. And it was originally in this old chloride forklift charger here, which was a 24 volt 50 amp, I think, or 45 amp, sorry. So I've been doing things to that, and I've got a different transformer in that, so that transformer there was pretty much scrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small angle cutter, and I'm going to cut off the entire secondary from this thing, and I'm going to replace it with some of this 70 square copper battery cable that I had left over from my EV. So if this is a success, I'm going to go up to 300 square copper cable that should be able to handle several thousand amps. Now what we're trying to do here is that we're going to have probably only about 2 turns on here, and we'll have about 2 volts, 3 volts, but we'll have several thousand amps, probably 2,000-3,000 amps, and that should, in theory, get that tube glowing pretty hot. So I'm going to go ahead and get that transformer prepared, and we'll see what actually happens. Okay, so that's our secondary gone. Just use the angle grinder just to cut through it like so. Then use some precision tools to just basically beat it out of there. So that's history, and there it is, all gone. So we get set up and see what the turns per volt is on this fella. See if we can start pulling some amps. That's It's going to be after I clean up all of this copper dust here. It seems to have gone everywhere, so back soon. Okay, so got a little bit of progress here. Got our transformer powered up from a 240 volt 32 amp supply, and we've got a clamp meter on the input, so it's telling us we're taking about a half an amp of magnetizing current here at 240 volts. And I've gone ahead and I just put a single turn of any bit of tin cable I had just on there, and as we can see, hopefully here, got about 1.35 volts AC out of a turn on this thing. So I'm going to now go ahead and I'm going to put about 2 turns of 70 square on there for about 2.7 volts ish, and let's see if we can get some amps out of it. So back soon. Okay then, we're all set. Got our amp clamp on. Primary side, we're getting about 0.7 amps just on open circuit. Got 2 turns of 70 square, a couple of crimp terminals on there, and getting just under 2.7 volts. So okay, let's give the thing a test and see what it decides to do with itself. Okay, I'm going to have some gloves and some safety glasses because things could get pretty interesting here when we're just going to be playing around. So let's try something simple first. Just got a wood screw. It's very thin. Let's see what happens here. This could get real ugly. Alright. Whoa. Okay. That worked. I can actually feel the cable humming there with the magnetic field. Was that strong? Okay, let's try again. Got 3 amps on the AC input. Oh, we got flames. Okay. So we can certainly cook a wood screw. But that's not, quite the caliber of the thing that we're trying to do. But at least it's proving that we're in the ballpark. So let me see if I can find something a bit more challenging. Let's see what we got. Some kind of scrap. Here we go. Here's an 8mm bolt. This should be interesting. I'll actually pass it through that one. Whoa! 15 amps input. 11 amps. Well, we're on fire again, but that's okay. 9 amps input. And we are melting down here, folks. Whoa! Got ourselves a seriously hot bulb. Wow. Okay. I think I might be onto something here. But I'm going to need some kind of a non-combustible surface. I can actually hold it like this and actually see how hot this thing is getting. Ooh. Okay. 8mm bolt isn't presenting any concerns for our super transformer. Go again. 7 amps, 8 amps input. 8 amps in. Oh, we just after melting it. And we're on fire again. Damn. Okay. Right. So that part, that's looking promising. Remember, this is just 2 turns of 70 square here. We're not up to the really big stuff just yet. I plan to use some 300 square cable on there. I think Photonicinduction had some 400 square to get 2 or 3 turns of it, which is, from what I'm seeing here, a little bit of overkill for my needs. So, okay, this is interesting. And some good initial tests. What else have I got lying around here that we could have a play with? Something out of I think I used the 10mm bolt holes, didn't I? Yeah. Let's see what I've got here. Well, there's a long bolt. There's another 8mm. So it's quite a long 8mm bolt. Drop sparking. Damn thing. Okay, we got 12 amps input to the trafo. 10 amps. Things are warming up pleasantly. 70 square cable is getting very hot also, so we may have to up that. Oh dear, more flames. 7 amps input, and yeah, looks like my 70 square, oh yeah, this is not good. Looks like my 70 square just isn't really up to the task, folks. Starting to get some smoke coming off it here. Oh yeah, it's melting the 70 square. So I'm probably dropping quite a lot of power in that. I think we better go for shutdown here. We're going to have ourselves a problem. Okay, that is power off. Let me get a feel of that 70 with my bare hand. Yeah, it's, whoa. I think it's actually more, it's not too bad in here at the core. Maybe 40, 45 degrees C, but oh, up nearer the ends it's getting serious. So what I'm guessing is actually happening here will be that our copper is actually heat sinking the heat. Oh, it's melting the insulation there. Our copper is actually sinking the heat out of the actual test piece and kind of drawing it back up the cable. So might have to go for that 300 square after all. But my next idea would be to put another set of turns of 70 on there. Basically put them in parallel, like 2 secondaries in parallel. But yeah, initial just see the pants test there. I think we might be onto something. Okay, I've got 11 amps input. Oh, things are warming up. They're definitely starting to warm up. Wow. Now that's not too bad. Oh, we're on fire again. Damn. Okay. Kind of a safe start to say that if we can push that kind of current to a bit of 70 square, 10 amps in. Okay, so I decided to say solid. We got a piece of 40 by 6 steel flat bar, couple of G clamps. I'm going to just see what the hell happens. Got a clamp on the actual secondary. It only goes up to 1000 amps, so I don't think we're going to get anything happening on it, but let's give it a try. Go over to the breaker panel here, and we're on. we got 7.6 amps in, and we got 650 amps, 630 amps we're pouring into this little concoction. About 650 amps, about 7.8 amps in. Ooh, we're up to about 800 amps on our secondary now. Getting some smoke, always a bad sign. Around 850 amps, 10 amps in. I think my 70 square isn't really going to be able to hack it. That's what I'm starting to think here. It's about 900 amps now. Oh, yeah, about 870. 10.8 amps in. I think I'm going to lose my 70 square, so I'd better shut down before that happens. 910 amps now. Yeah, my 70 square is going to go, I think. Just doesn't have what it takes. That's a shame, isn't it? But I can tell you that bar is hot. 900 amps. Ooh, that 70 square is hot too. 70 square is very hot, even in the core area, but the transformer itself didn't even feel that. The 70 square cable is, ow, definitely felt it. Alrighty, I think we might be just going a bit too insane here. I've added a second secondary, 2 turns, 70 square, put it in parallel with our first one. Got our piece of flat bar, and we got our clamp on here, and okay. So, what I've also done, came along here and I've drilled a hole in each end of the bar. Got our crimp terminal in there. Got a big stud going through it, and we're all bolted up. So, heads down. Over to the breaker panel, which might be a little bit too much. Oh dear. We've got 1,600 amps. 20 amps into the transformer. Look at this, 1,500 amps. Things are getting very interesting. 18 amps into the trafo, and I got some smoke. Steel is starting to smoke. 1,400 amps for 17.5 amps input. Still 1,400 amps. 16.5 in, 1340 out. 16 amps input. Getting smoke. Hopefully it's coming from the ends, unfortunately, which means that our trusty crimps aren't really happy babies. 1,220 amps. I wonder why it drops like that. Must be the resistance. Oh, I got some heat haze here. Some serious heat haze. 1,160 amps for 13.5 amps input. Our timber is starting to smoke here, so that's a good sign. Well, ish. Sort of a good sign. It may be a bad sign. It means I'm going to go on fire. Ah, damn. Ugh, I hate fire. Okay, anyway, things are starting to get out of hand. 1,000 amps for 12.5 input. Things are seriously starting to warm up around here. Please don't go on fire. It's going to, isn't it? I think we definitely need that 300 square. And that's going to make such a difference. 1,000 amperes, Andre amperes, for 11.5 input. My 70 square is starting to have a meltdown again. 11.2 in, 960 amps. Wonder what's... It must be the steel heating up that's actually causing it to drop. Oh dear, the 70 square is starting to go. Around our crimp terminals here, we're starting to lose it. We're losing it, man. We ain't gonna make it. 10.6 amps in, 932 going into the bar. 70 square is not happy bunny, and it's probably going to short out on me, so I'm going to have to do a premature shutdown, I'm sorry to say. Just don't want it to melt together and short out on me, that's all. Well, it can actually short out here, it's not going to cause any problem, is it? No, that's true. So 10.4 in, just under 900 out. I mean, things are hot. Oh, I think I'm seeing the steel starting to glow a little bit. Just about. Starting to glow. Cooking the copper, I suppose, which isn't really helping. At all, is it? Guess you really can't push 1000 amps through a piece of 70 square on a continuous basis. Has some... suppose. Oh, it's glowing, it's glowing, it's definitely glowing. It's glowing here, we have heating. We're definitely glowing here, folks. Just over the yeah, it's glowing just over the piece of timber there. 10 amps in, 860 going through the bar. My 70 square is really not a happy bunny. Might need that fire extinguisher before too long. Still 860 amps going through the cable, and the insulation is really starting to drip off the 70 at this stage. I think I better close down before it becomes too bad. As we can see, our bar is in a malleable state. I'm going to close down before I completely destroy my 70 square here. Oh dear, we have flames. Yeah, we got flames. We got serious flames. Alright, let's get that clamp meter off. Oh god, oh this is peeling apart here. Okay. Alright. Oh dear. Right. God damn it. Alright, so let's hit that steel a few blows of a hammer there and see what it does. Yeah, that's definitely softened it up. Okay, I'm going to let this mess cool off. I think transformer core itself cold, primary is warm, not overly so, and I wouldn't even want to go near the secondary. Primary is maybe only about 40 degrees or so. I think we've definitely done for the secondary. It's not good. So it looks like most of my heating was down by the crimp terminals. Okay, well, guess I better get to 300 and try it again. See you soon, folks.